Hi, we're Dan and Chris, and we're here today at Venice Beach, and we're at the sunny Muscle Beach location. And today
we're here to show you some exercises that we like for our arms. We're going to cover biceps, triceps and forearms.
So let's head in there and you can follow us in. This is a bicep preacher curl machine, and the benefit of doing it on a preacher curl bench or even on a machine is the fact that you really isolate the bicep, and you can also eliminate any cheating. There's no swinging, it's all concentration on the muscle. So this is how it's performed. So, as you can see, it's very controlled. It's all the way down, stretch out the bicep, come all the way back up, squeeze as hard as you can at the top, get that peak contraction, and that way you really feel it in your biceps.
An exercise for the biceps, one of my favourite biceps exercises, the high pulley curl. You need a wide frame for this. Not all gyms have got one of these, but if you've got one of these machines with these cable fixtures, it's great to use it for a high pulley curl. Exercises both sides of the body at the same time. Stand in a wide stance, keeping the upper arms parallel to the floor, and curling in. Couple of key points on that. As you do that exercise, if you curl the wrists in at the innermost position, that adds an extra flex to the bicep. So rather than keeping the wrist locked, curl them in, and try to avoid the temptation to bring the elbows forward. If the elbows come too far forwards, that eases the pressure on the biceps, and it's usually a sign that the weight is too heavy. So the high pulley curl for the biceps.
So this is a standing cable overhead tricep extension, and it's going to work the lateral head of your triceps. So when we get to the top of the movement, we're going to do a nice little twist at the top just to get the peak contraction. So, as you can see, as I mentioned, when you get that turn at the top, it really forces that extra bit of contraction at the top, and it's nice and slow and controlled, all the way back and come all the way back out again, so that fully stretches and fully engages the muscle.
We're going to look now at an exercise for the triceps, which is the muscle at the back of the upper arm. Lots of exercises we know for triceps, but probably the most common one is the pull down. Lots of different variants of this. I'm going to be doing the most simple variant, which is with a straight bar. It can also be done with a rope, and I'll talk about that once we finish the exercise. Key thing to remember with this exercise, as indeed with all exercises, is only move those body parts that are meant to move. So with the triceps, it should only be the movement at the elbow. So please make sure that you keep your elbows locked to the sides of your body and there's no movement forwards from the shoulder. In terms of the feet, they can be wherever you want to. I tend to use one foot forwards for stability, but a lot of people do it with feet side by side. It doesn't really matter what you do with your feet, it's a tricep exercise. A simple tricep pull down.
So this exercise is called a reverse barbell curl. I'm using an easy curl bar, which means there's less impact on my wrist. I have a bit of a wrist problem, so that's something I have to watch. So the bar like this, keeping the elbows tucked in, come up to about midway and back down. So, as you can see, this exercise is definitely not about weight. It's about getting it nice and slow and controlled and really keeping that form, keep the elbows tucked in and only come halfway. The higher you come up, the more you involve your bicep, and as we're looking at just working the forearms, that's all we want to do.
An exercise now for the forearms, although there's a considerable amount of biceps involvement in as well. This specifically works the brachioradialis, which you'll see as I do the exercise. It's called the crossbody hammer curl. It's called a hammer curl because the motion is similar to a hammer, and it's crossbody because, as you'll see, the dumbbells go across the body alternately. So the principal muscle worked is the brachioradialis. I'll do another couple of reps, and if you look for this part of my arm in particular, we'll see that's the brachioradialis muscle that's worked particularly by this exercise. Crossbody hammer curl, and as you can see, since there is a closing of the upper and lower arms together against the resistance, then there's also bicep involvement as well. So biceps too, but mainly for that part of the upper forearms, the brachioradialis.